All right.
Hey, welcome, Antonio. Thanks for joining.
All right. Okay. Looks like you're all set. Hey, Deb is joining. Jim, sounds like you're talking, but you're on mute.
Oh, I was. I said hello to Deb and hello to Terry. Thanks for both joining.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Deb. Wonderful to
Yeah.
have you. Hi,
Yeah.
Terry. Great to have you. So, Jim, you'll go ahead and open the call, right?
That's right. I'm just waiting for
Oh, no.
top of the hour, 3 more minutes.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
we'll start right on time, I guess.
Sure.
Your reminder emails are excellent because it said the meeting's starting right now. And I'm like, oh, I got to stop. I got to get on the meeting. So great job on the reminders.
Yeah, I finally figured that out on Eventbrite.
Hey, Ralph has joined. Hey, Ralph, I'll hand it off to you after I kick things off. I'll get started right exactly at 12 noon, I guess.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
So while we're waiting, if people want, I'll go ahead and do it. Sometimes it helps for people to get to know each other if you rename yourself with your organization and your location. So I'm going to put Sims for ISSIP and California in my name. And feel free to do that yourself if you want. To put your organization and location where you are in the world, that would be great. Not, no worries. I see Jason from Cisco and Raleigh, North Carolina, Research Triangle Park.
Hi everybody. Hi, Jim. Hello, Jesse.
Hey.
Well,
Hey,
I am from Peru. Now I'm
Good.
connected
Wonderful.
from UCD. Excuse me?
Wonderful, from Peru. Great.
Yes, I
We're
came
going to
from
get
the
started.
Universidad Privada del Norte, there where I work.
You can rename yourself on Zoom. It's noon, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to the ISSIP annual Progress and Board of Directors call. This is our where we wrap up 2021. It was a very busy year for ISSIP, and we'd like to just thank you all for joining. I guess others will be joining for a few more minutes. I'm Jim Sporer. I'm on the board of directors of ISSIP, and here's our agenda for today. After just some opening and welcoming remarks, I'll be providing updates on ISSIP leadership transitions and various acknowledgements and thank you for the ISSIP leadership. Then I'm going to hand it off to Ralph Badinelli, and we'll correct that typo there. I just noticed, Ralph, sorry about that. Before we post it up, and Ralph will be talking about our awards and recognition program, which made a lot of headway this past year. Then we'll announce our new members of the Strategy Council. Terry Griffith, our ISSIP president, who will be introduced shortly, will then take us through the ISSIP 22 goals and objectives. Yasi is going to give us, our executive director, Yasi is going to give us an update on the Discovery Summits, which are, of course, the many little online conferences that ISSIP runs, a lot of them on the future of work and future of skills and AI and other service innovation related topics. Then Yasi is going to give us an update on some of the foundation funded projects from the National Science Foundation project that happened in 2021, as well as the European Commission project on upskilling. So those are big initiatives that happened this year. Then we'll hear from Haluk Demirkan, who's also on the board of directors of ISSIP, about various ISSIP events. We'll hear some thought leadership areas, our publications, our books, our newsletters. Then I'll return to give an update on our ISSIP ambassadors activity, and then turn it over to Yasi to wrap us up with volunteer recognition operations. And then hopefully we'll have some time for open discussion as well. And of course, these calls are open to all ISSIP members and others interested in ISSIP. So thanks all of you who joined the call. Okay, I have to congratulate ISSIP. This is the 10th year. Some of us were around when ISSIP was started in 2012, but this is the 10th year of ISSIP's anniversary. So congratulations, ISSIP, and happy birthday. Next slide, please. So these are our board of directors. Again, we have these progress and update calls twice a year. The next one will probably be in July, mid-year kind of review. And these are our board of director members. Rama Akharaju from IBM is new to the board of directors. And we've got Gonzalo from Cisco. Amar and I are also on the board of directors. Amar Reyes from Cisco. Ralph Badinelli, who you'll be hearing from a little later, from Virginia Tech. Haluk Demirkan from both University of Washington and Amazon. You'll also be hearing from Haluk. He's on the board of directors. He's founding board of directors like Ralph, myself, and Amar. Sunil, you'll be hearing from a little bit later. Kryptolani, and I don't believe Kimura-san from Japan will be joining us, but you never know. So these are our board members. First thing I'd like to do is really honor Alf Veneras, our ISSIP 2021 president. 2021 was a very busy year. Of course, it was a pandemic year, so most of our meetings were online. But under Alf's presidency, you can read it here yourself, but we had major government-funded initiatives from the National Science Foundation and European Commission on future of skills, T-shaped people, We had 2 discovery summits and 4 NSF workshops, online mini conferences, and also great progress on the ISSIP Service Innovation Excellence Award and ISSIP Digital Badging Program. ISSIP sponsored 3 conferences as well this past year. Alf is going to continue, even though he's not going to be the president in 2022, he's going to be continuing on the ISSIP Strategy Council, which is just fantastic news for us because Alf is just really one of these senior leadership executives who brings value to everything he's involved in. So we really sincerely thank Alf for all he's done for ISSIP in 2021. He's really helped us focus and achieve a lot and provided great feedback and comments on a lot of strategic initiatives as well, and he'll continue in that role. And of course, Alf will continue on the executive committee. Now I'd like to welcome Terry, who is on. Terry Griffith is our incoming ISSIP president for 2022. She was vice president in 2021. As you can read there, Terry is the professor at the Keith Beattie Chair of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, Canada. And she's also been an ISSIP ambassador for quite a while, chair of various online conferences that we've had and workshops, and very, very active in ISSIP. She's also, of course, well recognized as a woman leader in Silicon Valley Business Journal. She's author of several award-winning books. The Plugged In Manager is a great one. She's on various advisory boards, and if you haven't checked it out, you can check out Terry's blog on technology and organization. And by the way, these slides that you're seeing right now, if you go to the ISSIP website and look under events and news down on the progress and board of directors call, I did post a version of these slides to the website before the call. So if you want to get that, download that, you'll be able to click on some of these links if you haven't been able to type it into your browser or capture it in some other way. And Terry, it's a real pleasure to have you as president. You're so active in so many things in ISSIP. I just have to give another shout out for the wonderful, wonderful mini track session that you led at Hicks Conference, one of the ISSIP sponsored conferences, the first week of January. That was a really incredible session looking at industry research, practitioner research in innovation, and it was a really exciting session. So thanks for that as well, Terry, and look forward to working with you as president of ISSIP in 2022. And I know we're going to be hearing from you shortly on the plan for 2022. I'd also like to welcome our incoming ISSIP Vice President. Utpal Mangla is a very good colleague of mine. I'm a retired IBMer, for those who don't know. And so I got a chance to work with Utpal at IBM before I retired last year. Utpal is a general manager at IBM, very busy, very responsible guy. He's leading the Industry Edge Cloud initiative. Edge, of course, is one of the hottest areas of technology innovation. AI is going to the edge, Internet of Things, 5G. So very exciting area that Utpal leads for IBM. He leads the innovation competency for telecom, media, and entertainment on artificial intelligence, IoT for edge, hybrid cloud, robotics, blockchain, innovations worldwide. He's also been an ISSIP ambassador, very active in ISSIP, former chair of the Strategy Council. And like Alf, I would have to say, Utpal is one of those senior leaders who just always has great insights and advice. And not on this slide, but Utpal is also very active in university advisory boards. He's helped the National Science Foundation. And you can see the various focus areas he has. He's also a member of IBM's Industry Academy, regular speaker at forums, and it's just a great pleasure to welcome Utpal to the ISSIP Vice President's role. And I believe Paul is the third IBMer to be vice president of ISSIP. So welcome, Paul. Next slide, please. Now, there's a huge transition, very mixed emotions that I have to announce that Yassi Mogadam, who's been our outstanding ISSIP founding executive director for the last 10 years, all 10 years of ISSIP, Yassi has really, truly overseen, so much of ISSIP. She has really contributed and continues to contribute enormously. Under her leadership, ISSIP membership grew. We had just started from 150 to over 1,500 members, representing over 200 universities, 50 companies, 42 countries. The ISSIP Service Innovation Awards and Badging Program, didn't have those when we started 10 years ago. Yassi's played a huge role in all our conferences, discovery summits, organizing them. She secured multiple public funding awards, including three from the National Science Foundation, one from the European Commission, and Yassi will be telling us more about the reports coming out of that work a little later on in this update call. She's at the beginning nurtured a lot of our SIGs, a lot of our other ISSIP activities. It's safe to say if ISSIP is doing just about anything in the last 10 years, Yassi's hand was on it, guiding it, helping it to be successful. Really, I can't say enough great things about Yassi. She grew the ISSIP thought leadership at the intersection of service innovation and the future of work and skills. I recall when Yassi and I were talking at one point, I said, have you written any books, Yassi? And she said no. And I believe now Yassi's up to her second or third book in the ISSIP Business Expert Press series. So a lot of firsts. And of course, she's mentored and coached students tremendously. So the good news is, even though this is a big transition, and it's going to be impossible to replace Yassi as executive director. We will have to get an executive director, but Yassi has been so productive in so many different areas. It's going to be great to welcome Yassi to the board of directors of ISSIP as of April 1st. So Yassi, we're so happy that you're going to continue in a leadership role in ISSIP, and I know your commitment to ISSIP is just incredible. So thank you for all you've done in the past, and I'm really looking forward to working with you as on the board of directors. And I do want to congratulate you also, Yassi, for this exciting new role that you're going to be joining at the University of Santa Clara's Silicon Valley campus as executive director of their human-computer work there. So huge overlap, of course, with service design in that area, and very much looking forward to working with you in that role. And it's going to be great to have another ISSIP board of director member representing higher education. We try to keep a balance on the board between university and industry. So Yassi, tremendously looking forward to working with you. And now we are going to have to search for a new executive director. The job description has been posted. So if you know of folks who are interested and would be a great executive director for ISSIP going forward, please do go out and check that position description. And hiring at ISSIP.org is going to be receiving the resumes, and I'll be chairing the search committee for ISSIP executive director, and it's such an important role that the entire executive committee is part of the search committee to review the resumes. So yeah. All right. Now I'd like to welcome Rama Akharaju to the board of directors. Rama is an IBM fellow, CTO of AI operations, a master inventor, member of IBM Academy. She was previously the director of R&D and chief architect for IBM Watson. She leads research and development in very significant areas of innovation, including in the past service solutions and qualities. She is, of course, an ISSIP past president and member of the Strategy Council. You can see here that she's written a number of book chapters, technical reports. She's got patents, best paper awards, and I had great pleasure working with Rama putting together the AI and Automation Discovery Summit this past year, which was one of the successful ISSIP Discovery Summit. Also want to mention that Rama was named by Forbes magazine as one of the top 20 women in AI research. You know, welcome to the ISSIP Board of Directors, Rama. And Rama, of course, will be representing IBM on the Board of Directors. So welcome, Rama. Also my pleasure to welcome our new ISSIP Editor-in-Chief. Cecilia Lee joined us late in 2021 as our editor-in-chief of our monthly newsletter. Cecilia is a service design lead at OneWeb, and she's also recently, getting her PhD at Royal College of Arts. She's very interested in service design. She's leading some very, very interesting research on the sense of smell and how that may be playing a role in future human AI interactions. So really some leading edge work that Cecilia Lee is doing. And it's fascinating to me that Cecilia grew up in New Zealand and learned to not only surf and kayak there, but lived in 7 other countries: UK, Ireland, Switzerland, Turkey, Japan, South Korea, and my chat window is blocking one other country. But we really want to welcome Cecilia to the editor-in-chief role. She's already helped gather survey information from nearly all of our ISSIP ambassadors. I know she, earlier this week, she started interviewing some of our ISSIP ambassadors, starting with Clara Bassano from Italy. And Cecilia's really looking forward to getting to know other leaders across ISSIP and making sure that she's reflecting all of the great work that so many ISSIP members are doing and get that reflected in the newsletter to grow awareness. So welcome, Cecilia. And with that, I'm going to ask Ralph Badinelli, who's also on the board of directors of ISSIP, to take us through the next part of this call. So Ralph, over to you.
Thank you, Jim. In 2021, under the leadership of our president, Ulf Venaris, we started an initiative to expand and improve our badging program. We've had the badging program for a few years, but what we did in 2021 is, first of all, we added a number of badges to our catalog, if you will. And so if you go to our website, you will see 3 categories of badges there: the Excellence in Service Innovation Badge, the ISSIP Mentor Badge, and the ISSIP Knowledge Sharing Badge. And each one of these badges has 3 levels of accomplishment. So in total, we have 9 badges currently, and we're looking to add more. We've awarded these badges to more than 75 people in the last year. So the badging program has expanded greatly. The other thing that I'm really happy about is that we revamped the procedures for awarding badges. We've streamlined it, as well as the procedures for creating new badges. And so the badge program is really on a solid footing now and is ready for growth. If I encourage everybody to look at our website and look at the badges, and if you think that you might have earned a badge and somehow we overlooked your accomplishments, please don't hesitate to contact me. and we will certainly respond effectively and quickly. And also, if you have any suggestions for other types of badges, we would love to hear those suggestions as well. And I guess that covers the badging program.
Ralph, would you like to tell us about the Excellence Award that's coming up end of this month?
Yeah, the Excellence Award does involve a badge, okay, but the Innovation Excellence Program is annually. We do it annually, and we receive applications from anybody, any ISSIP member who thinks that their organization, whether it's an academic organization or an industry organization, has achieved some significant innovation in service. Last year, we had 17 applicants, and you can see the winner last year, Savannah College of Arts and Design, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, and Giapogo. What we hope is that we'll get even more applications this year. We have streamlined that process a little bit this year. If you go to our website, there's a link to a form so that you can make your application simply by responding to the questions on that form. And that will give us some uniformity in the formats of the submissions. And I think it'll make it easier for applicants to make a submission. So please consider doing that. And we have a deadline of February 28th. So you have about a month, a little more than a month to get your applications in.
Okay, thank you so much, Ralph, and thank you for your leadership on the awards committee, and also some of you probably participated in our Excellence Awards series and spoken at that, and really thanks to Heather Yorko from MasterCard for kicking that off, and of course other members, Haluk Demirkan and Sunil Kripalani. Ralph mentioned that some of our awardees last year, and we had 3 categories, and one of those on the second category, Distinguished Awards, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, we have an introduction, important introduction, which we're gonna, sorry, I'm having some issues with my but we were going to table this for now because another one of our board members will be covering that when he gets on. So at this point, I'd like to turn it to our president, Terry Griffith. Terry, please take it from here.
Thank you so much, Darcy. And I just want to reiterate all the thanks that we heard and recognition that Ralph and Jim were able to share with us, and certainly wishing Yasi absolutely the best as she does. It's a transition in her role, not a departure, but I look forward to how we will be working far more tightly with UC Santa Cruz and bringing more of that human-computer interaction piece into the ISSIP discussion. So I'm very much looking forward to what the future will bring, although the transition year is going to be far more difficult than I ever anticipated when thinking about my 1 year as president here with ISSIP. But what I can say is that because we get Yasi far into the year, the great news is we had her leadership helping the executive committee as we thought about the 2022 goals and objectives. And the process is a multi-meeting affair where we take a look at what happened in the prior year. We, as an executive committee, think about the weightings and the value added that we see from all the activities that are possible across ISSIP. ISSIP, one of the most distinguishing features is this industry academic combination, and the idea that so many of our members are thought leaders in such a diverse area, we could do so many things. And actually under Ulf's leadership, one of the things I think we've done much better in this last year is take a tighter focus. And so we have, I think, a stronger process for considering the 2022 goals and objectives. And so when we went through that weighting process, we had multiple discussions around where should we spend our initial efforts, while also doing what I like to call creating easier on-ramps for the membership to participate either in the activities that we already do so well or in new ones. And so leaving open those ideas of the on-ramps. But in each of the cases, we went through and we said, where is it that we are providing value to the membership? Where is it that we are creating an environment for new members, both industry and individual, to join us? And where do we put those efforts? And so that's what you're seeing on this chart is discovery summits are something we do quite well. The participation is, a clear demonstration of that. The awards recognition, badging, how we've been able to grow that and create a procedure that makes it, I'm not going to say it's easy because there's a lot of time and effort there amongst Jim and his colleagues in the effort, but making it something that we can talk about with future institutional members and everyone who's coming to join us. So we've put more process around that. Our conference partnerships, being very clear about where are the conferences where we can find our community that we already have, so places that we're going to be present at, be participating, possibly offering best paper awards where we already have members, or conferences where we want to reach out into a broader set of possible members, and how can we make good choices about that. And then again, in this year, I think we did a very nice job of evaluating the value around our publications. And so this outreach component is something we've really honed a skill set on, and I think we're getting a lot of good accolades back in terms of success at conferences where we're entering into peer-reviewed processes, or where we have book series and the interest that people have not only in reading those, but also then in joining us in the series and helping us keep that flow of new knowledge going. So the idea that we can help people find a platform for knowledge leadership, the idea that we can offer institutional boundaries around that so that you get the support of an entire organization behind you as you're sharing your ideas, and the feedback and criticism that will make those ideas be better. And so we've gone through here and said discovery summits, awards and badging, conference partnerships, and then publications. These are the things that we know we want to maintain. At the same time, we want to be asking good questions. So one of the ones on the table right now is, what are the conferences, and is there a different venue that we should be considering? So that's an open one. What about a theme for the Discovery Summit? This year the theme was fairly directed by the National Science Foundation, although we also have a stream of presentations that Heather led, Heather Yurko from MasterCard, that are taking the Excellence in Service Innovation winners and giving them a platform to share with the membership and broader community. So, are we on the right track? The answer is we believe so. We've narrowed the focus to a degree, but also we are trying to find ways to make easier on-ramps for across the membership and then institutional members to engage with us more effectively and to help them share their own ideas. So I just want to make sure that I've mentioned, we've got a strong process going. The Strategy Council is going to help us with the future themes for 2022 as we finish up the National Science Foundation focus. And I'm looking forward to all the ideas about how we can have that better on-ramp to, we've got over 1,000 members. How do we make sure that we're giving the opportunities to create value and gain value from that membership? So thank you so much. Looking forward to a discussion about these issues too. And that's something I've left, a fair open spot in my notes, is hoping that we get a discussion going today.
Thank you so much, Terry. Somehow I can't go back on the slides. I just got a note from Sunil that he may be later than expected. So I want to, sorry, somehow, oh, there we go. I want to go back to the previous slide and, on behalf of Sunil Kriplani, another one of our board members who knows a new member to the Strategy Council, Ralph Perrin, and I have had the pleasure of working with Ralph as well. In addition to Ulf Veneras joining the ISSIP Strategy Council, I'm really happy to tell you that Ralph Perrin, Director of IT Strategy and Innovation at Blue Cross Blue Shields of North Carolina, also accepted our invitation to join the ISSIP Strategy Council. Ralph was a winner of a Distinguished Award, Service Distinguished Award in 2021, along with his team members. And he's been active since within ISSIP and bringing really great ideas for collaboration and members engagement. And as we speak, we're working on those ideas. Ralph comes with a stellar background. He's been the founder of award-winning Innovation Garage at Blue Cross. He's led the adoption of emerging technologies to save cost and improve capabilities in healthcare. He's the founder of the award-winning ISSIP award-winning project, CarePath Medical, and where we continue to explore with Ralph how through the ISSIP community we can promote his efforts. Before joining Blue Cross, he served in various positions, leadership positions in the US and internationally. And as I mentioned, he's been the recipient of ISSIP Distinguished Recognition Award in 2021. So Ralph, welcome to ISSIP, welcome to the ISSIP Strategy Council. And I'm delighted both you and Ulf have joined the Strategy Council.
Thank you.
With that, I'll walk you through some of the accomplishments on the Discovery Summit side. So we had 2 Discovery Summits last year, and one we kicked off actually a concept with our great colleague Deborah Stokes from Dell, who's on the call, a Discovery Cafe. So we had a Discovery Cafe in September on diversity, inclusion, and belonging as part of a Future of Work hybrid workplace series. And we also had another Discovery Summit on hybrid workplace in collaboration with our colleagues from Cisco, with Gonzalo Salguero, who's on our board, leading that effort on behalf of Cisco. And then Rama Akharaju, collaborating with Jim, led the Future of Work series on AI and automation. And all of these Discovery Summits and cafes, there were a number of speakers and moderators that got involved, and without their participation and leadership, it wouldn't have been possible. And so everyone who contributed were given ISSIP badges, and all the presentations were posted on the ISSIP website, and you can actually go under the Discovery Summits and you'll see a list of all the past Discovery Summits, and most of them have links to recordings. So if you didn't have a chance to actually participate, I really encourage you to go and check that out. Some really wonderful, wonderful presentations and great thought leadership. And as Terry mentioned, we are, the 2022 planning is underway. And I really encourage all of you, if you're interested in learning more how to get involved in these Discovery Summits, have ideas, and you're interested in volunteering to chair or get involved as a moderator, just send a note to info@issip.org. We would love to hear your thoughts. And also, we had a number of folks, you see their pictures there. The page wasn't large enough to put all the names, but I'm really thankful to everyone who made the Discovery Summits this year very successful. And also, there was a white paper thanks to Ralph Badinelli, who completed the AI and automation white paper, and also a peer-reviewed paper that got accepted to AAAI conference last year. And thank you to Dr. Gerhard Gütergen for developing the white paper on the hybrid workplace. On the workshops, we also had 4 workshops that were sponsored by the National Science Foundation. And many of you probably participated in those workshops. And a number of ISSIP members spoke at these workshops. The workshops were really on the future of work and its impact on education and then skills for the future. This is a continuation of work we have been doing with NSF over the last, I think our first NSF award was in 2017 on similar theme. And I really would like to thank my colleagues, Professor Haluk Demirkan, professor from University of Washington, and now with Amazon, and Professor Lou Frond, San Jose State University, and Dr. Martha Russell from Stanford, and Dr. Josephine Ewan, retired from UC Berkeley and now with ISSIP, for really all the great work to make these workshops and this study possible. You can find the recordings on the ISSIP website under events and NSF workshops, if you go there. And the report of the collection of the workshops is underway and will be available soon. Jim also mentioned that we had a European Commission project that we worked on upskilling Europe. So really focused 2021 on intersection of future of work and service innovation for upskilling T-shaped innovators. And you can find the final report actually on the European Commission publishing site with the URL there. And of course, a number of ISSIP members contributed. There were 5 workshops since 2019, and a number of ISSIP members contributed to those workshops, and also a conference that happened July of 2021. So the whole project was 2 years, and it was a collaboration between Empirica, PwC, the European Commission, and ISSIP. And Jim contributed tremendously to to this project. Okay, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, another ISSIP board member, Haluk Demirkan. Haluk.
Thank you, Yasi. Hi, good afternoon. Again, my name is Haluk Demirkan, and I'm also one of the board members at ISSIP. And so I would like to a couple of minutes talk about some of our knowledge dissemination or networking activities. So one of them, as an ISSIP, we have been interacting with a lot of academic and professional conferences, and our idea is we really want to cross disseminate the knowledge sharing and also partnership. So in 2021, 22, these are some of the conferences we participated. The first one is the Hawaiian International Conference on System Sciences. We had research mini-track sessions. We actually provided a Best Paper Award. And then we also sponsored Citrus Banatoa Institute Women in Technology Conference in March 2021. And then we also participated and we had sessions, some of our ISSIP leaders led sessions at Conference on Applied Human Factors, 8th International Conference on the Human Side of Service Engineering. So the upcoming year, these are some of the conferences we are planning to actively engage, and we would love to hear from you if there are more conferences around you think might be applicable to ISSIP's mission and vision. And these are, again, we are planning to work with the Frontiers in Service PICMET conference in Oregon, ISM Naples Forum. So we really try to have some national conferences in US and international conferences from all over the places. Like I said, if you are planning to attend any of these conferences, please let us know. We would love to engage with you in these conferences. And also, if you think there are some other conferences ISSIP should get involved, again, we will be very happy to, co-create value. All right. So again, conferences is one of the ways to network and also disseminate knowledge. And we have another vehicle, what we call book series. This is also another way of our ISSIP members and ISSIP network basically have a vehicle if they are interested in writing a short booklet that more applies to practitioners. So for some time ago, Dr. Jim Sporer and I, we started these book series with partnership of Business Expert Press. So most of the authors are actually in this book series are practitioners. So the idea is really about any topic in context of service science, service innovation, technology evolutions, AI, machine learning, analytics, various topics really evolving, very fast changing topics. We have these book series. So far in the first book series we started called Service Systems and Innovations in Business Society, we have total 48 books already published, and 10 of them happened in 2021. And second book series we started just a couple of years ago. So far, 10 books published and 4 has been happening year 2021. Again, any of you, if you have any plans or if you have interest to write a short booklets, please let us know, myself or Dr. Jim Sporer. And these are some of the examples books published in both series. Again, you can see from compassion-driven innovation to building some better brains in context of AI, and then some. These are also some of the books about future of work, which evolves with the technology and humans collaboration, advancing the talent and technologies. And then, can I go back to a couple slides? There was, I think, a couple items there I would like to. Oh, and then there are also some couple other publications happened. One of them is actually the NSF report. Yassi, Steve Kwan, Lou Fraud, and Martha Russell, they collaborated. And then this combination of the NSF report happened, and then also this conference proceeding happened in 2021 at the AHFE conference. And also Dr. Bodinelli had a paper on basically AI and automation, Discovery Summit, and then there are a couple other white papers and some other, publications happening. Again, please reach out to any of us if you have any interest on publishing or even reading some of these booklets. We can send you more information. Okay, thank you, Yasi.
Look, Jim, you want to cover this one? And let's do it quickly. Both you and I can do it quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll just say that we have 53 ISSIP ambassadors, and this is the pictures of the 2021. If ISSIP ambassadors connect us to other professional associations, other conferences, journals, service design, service engineering. So if you feel you could be an ISSIP ambassador, you should send a note to info@issip.org. We try to, select a number each year for additional ISSIP ambassadors to help us get connected. I also want to thank Cecilia Lee. She's in the upper right-hand corner there, our ISSIP newsletter editor again, because she has really helped us get surveys of our ISSIP ambassadors. So we're asking them questions about, has the pandemic accelerated the digital transformation of the world, their views on various things, and she's also started interviewing them for the ISSIP newsletter as well with some videos. So thank you, Cecilia, for that. And I'll hand it back to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Jim. So other volunteers, you heard about many volunteers already, but I just wanted to show this. I'm not going to go through this, but these are a list of all the other folks that participated as speakers, as moderators in our Discovery Summits, NSF workshops, conferences, and many more. We had, at the end of last year, we had 70 active volunteers. And at the end of this year, at the end of 2020, we had 70 active volunteers. And at the end of this year, I'm happy to say that the number has increased by 10. Here is a update on individual membership. So end of 2020, we started with 1519. And end of this year, that number had increased to 1604. The distribution slightly changed, as you can see, but for the most part, it stayed the same. It's really interesting that this distribution has continued in this fashion. That's the growth of ISSIP individual membership. Here is a sample of institutions that basically represent the individual members of ISSIP who are active in ISSIP represent. And it is a sample. So if you're active in ISSIP and the logo of your institution doesn't show up, my apologies, send me a note for the next call. But we're really thankful to everyone who represent these great institutions, a great mix of industry and academia that get ISSIP going. And if you're interested in learning more about how to become an institutional member of ISSIP, please send a note to info@issip.org. This is an update on the financials. Again, I'm not going to go through this. I'll just leave it there for a second. And
we can also thank Menti.io. We can also thank Menti.io. They gave a donation that went to an award for the Hicks Awards and the practitioners. So thank you to all those who donated to ISSIP as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the mechanical stuff, taxes will be due on May 21st. Sorry about the typo. So with that, I like to open the call to everyone for questions, for ideas, you know. Please, any questions for?
Yasi, maybe let's go back to gallery view and drop the slide share.
I'm sorry, Terry, can you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
Maybe we could drop the slide share and go back to gallery.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Good idea. Okay, great. I just
see
want
a lot of ISSIP ambassadors on the call, and I want to thank them all. I won't call out your names individually, but you know who you are. So thank you for joining.
Yeah, I want to second that. Thank you all for joining. And I also want to say what a pleasure it's been the last 10 years, and what an honor it's been serving all of you. And I really look forward to the next phase. As Terry said, you know, I have always said this is a transition for me. I fully I fully believe in ISSIP and fully intend to work with all of you to take it to the next level. So thank you all. Thank you for making the last 10 years really fun for me. And I look forward to more co-creating with you.
Yeah, thanks, Yasi. Was the line open? Can I say something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, hi everybody. This is Davor. So I thought it'd be interesting to maybe share my perspective of the call, because you know I've been part of it for so many years, and then quite recently kind of reconnected with Jim and a number of the other members almost by accident. So I saw the invite pop up, and I just have to congratulate everybody and the community. It is just, and you especially, Yasi, but of course, you know, everybody and the board. It's absolutely mind-boggling, the progress, the energy, the awesomeness, the wholesomeness of everything you're doing. It's such a pleasure. I've been enjoying every minute, you know, here. I had a bunch of other stuff to do, but I made the time finally once, and I'm so happy that I did. So I was just going to post on LinkedIn. It'll be my New Year's resolution to kind of support or do a bit more than I have been doing over the years. So I really look forward to maybe connect a bit more with the members, because there's so much value on the table, and I do think from what we build up on this side, there's bound to be some really good stuff we can do together. So thanks for having me, and again, congrats everybody. It's been a blast. Yeah, thanks.
That's great. Wonderful to have you back, Davor. It's great to see you. Other thoughts?
I just want to again say thanks, Yasi, for all of the support, all of the great activities and initiatives that you've done for the program during your tenure here. Wish you the best of luck in your new role, I guess, job, career, whatever you want to call it. Next adventure, maybe that's the best way to say it. And I really do want to point out, as Jim knows, there's a lot of these university industry kind of collaborations, sponsorships, affiliations, organizations that are around. But I would say one thing that really sets ISSIP apart is the engagement of the members and the team that come together for these sessions. And you've done a tremendous job in, over the last couple of years, not being able to meet in person, still keeping that momentum going, still keeping the connections open, and look, increasing the membership in a virtual world. That's not an easy feat to do. So kudos to the team for making that happen.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much. And thank you for your engagement in ISSIP and helping us advance. Any other thoughts? We still have 6 minutes.
I'm always especially interested in hearing people's, I guess, if you've heard folks in your organization with open questions what are those open questions? Certainly last year, a lot of the open questions was around return to work, and that is continuing on. Now I think recruiting is a massive open question, a pain point that I hear at any organizational discussion I'm a part of. But are there others? And maybe even if you just want to add them in the chat, just to make sure that they're top of mind as we continue these discussions and as the Strategy Council takes on more thinking around the theme for the year and upcoming years. That's the thing that drives us so much, is what are the open questions that organizations could gain value from the kind of in-depth perspective that ISSIP members can offer.
So I'll say my job in Cisco specifically is focused on human machine interaction, right? So I'm not on the networking side or the hardware side or even the software side. I'm looking at something different. And we're talking a lot about the decentralized web and what that's going to mean. When we look at the fifth industrial revolution and the trust economy, when we look at, people deconstructing institutions and moving these to P2P environments, what does that mean for interactions? What does that mean for the future of work and the future of trust? So those are some of the things we're thinking about. Decentralization, its impact, and the inclusion as a portion of that. How does decentralization impact our ability to protect environments that we're introducing, whether it's future of work or just the future of culture?
Thanks, Annie. Great feedback. Any others? Any other thoughts?
Yasi, if I may say, this is Zami Temesgen.
Hi, Zami.
Yeah, very much an open question for me, and a work that hopefully will progress at a much higher pace as the application of digital technologies and data science for global health and public health. So I hope there will be some movement in that area also within ISSIP.
Mm. Mm. Great feedback.
Yasi, do we know that the chat's being saved too, or can we make sure that it is?
The chat is going to get saved.
Perfect. Great.
Get saved automatically.
Hi, ISSIP, and I'm glad to hear Zalem talk about data science and medicine and health. And I will write and communicate to what we're doing, and we would definitely like to. I've been an informal ISIS ambassador whenever I can get a chance to talk to people and connect it, because I believe in the mission, and you've done a wonderful work. I mean, I think ISSIP community is really a model how people have come together and been engaged, as the previous speaker said. So definitely, and I'm trying to see how I can sustainably contribute rather than contribute off and on, appear and disappear that I do, because running my own organization. So, but I'll definitely be in touch and take care. It's a wonderful work, and I'm sort of, ever since I worked with Jim many years back, I've been following this emergence of this whole idea and practice. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Great, thanks, Anil. We got 2 more minutes. Any other thoughts? Okay.
Could I ask Yasi, please? This is Scott
Sure,
McLeod,
please.
World University and School.
Sure.
About possible ways of engaging ISSIP on behalf of MIT Open Courseware Centric Wiki World University and School, and even for online medical schools in all 200 countries' main languages, and online teaching hospitals, potentially even with telerobotic surgery and a universal translator, as just brainstorming questions for ISSIP. So how might World University and School engage ISSIP? Thank you.
It looks like we're just about out of time. So I will make sure that the recording gets posted. And thank you again, Yasi, and everyone for joining.
Thank you
And
all.
congratulations, Carrie, on our President's 2022. We're really looking forward to working with you and all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye-bye.